All right, so get this. We're talking Tesla.
Okay.
We're talking AI.
Uh-huh.
And we're talking a potential 52% stock surge. That's right.
Wow.
Some analysts think Tesla's AI ventures
Really?
could add $1 trillion to their market cap. You want to know if it's worth jumping on this roller coaster?
Sure.
So let's dive into this Motley Fool article and break it all down.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. It's certainly an interesting time to be looking at Tesla.
Right.
Their stock has been on a wild ride
Yeah, for sure.
lately. After a huge surge following Trump's 2024 election win, they've hit a bit of a slump in early 2025.
Yeah, a 10% drop isn't exactly what investors were hoping for.
No, not really.
The article highlights 3 main reasons for this dip.
Okay.
First up, disappointing EV sales in the last quarter of 2024. Seems like increased competition and a shaky economy
Makes sense.
are making some folks nervous.
Yeah, that's right.
And adding fuel to the fire, we have Trump's new tariffs.
Oh, yeah.
Especially those aimed at China.
Right.
China is a massive market for Tesla.
Huge.
So any disruption there could have a real impact
Absolutely.
on their bottom line.
Yeah. And then there's the elephant in the room.
Right.
Musk's new gig leading the Department of Government Efficiency.
Oh, yeah, that.
Some investors are worried
I bet.
he's spreading himself too thin.
Yeah, I could see that.
Can he really head up
Right.
a major government initiative and still give Tesla the attention it needs?
Yeah, it's a valid concern.
It is.
But what's interesting is that during the recent Q4 earnings call, Musk seemed laser-focused on AI.
Interesting.
Specifically on 2 key areas: advancements in their self-driving software and the development of their humanoid robots, Optimus.
Hold on, Optimus? Like robots that walk around and do stuff?
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
What's the deal with those?
Well, Musk envisions Optimus as a general-purpose robot, capable of handling a wide range of tasks.
Okay.
He's even hinted that Optimus could eventually become a bigger business for Tesla than their cars.
That's a pretty bold prediction.
It is.
But is that realistic?
That's a good question.
I mean, are we talking about robots doing our grocery shopping anytime soon?
No, are we?
Or is this more of a long-term vision?
Well, it's still early days.
Okay.
But Tesla has already showcased
they have
some prototypes of Optimus performing basic tasks.
Interesting.
The technology is advancing rapidly.
Yeah.
And Musk is known for setting ambitious goals.
For sure.
It's certainly a development worth watching closely.
Okay, yeah. So we've got these AI-powered robots on the horizon, and Musk is talking up their self-driving software.
Yeah.
But how does all this tie into the stock's potential surge?
Yeah, good question.
Where does that 52% come from?
That prediction comes from Dan Ives, a tech analyst at Wedbush Securities. He's incredibly bullish on Tesla.
Wow.
Setting a 12-month price target of $550.
Okay.
He believes that deregulation under the Trump administration will be a major catalyst for Tesla's autonomous driving project.
Deregulation, so fewer rules around self-driving cars could really give Tesla a boost.
That's Ives' bet. He sees a scenario where a more hands-off approach from the government allows Tesla to quickly roll out their self-driving technology, giving them a significant first-mover advantage.
Makes sense.
He believes this alone could unlock $1 trillion in value for Tesla.
Okay, I see where he's coming from.
Yeah.
But couldn't a future administration just as easily reverse those policies?
They could, yeah.
That would put Tesla back at square one, wouldn't it?
That's certainly a possibility. The regulatory landscape can be unpredictable, especially when it comes to emerging technologies like self-driving cars.
Right.
But Ives seems to be betting that the momentum toward deregulation will be difficult to reverse.
Okay.
Particularly if Tesla can demonstrate the safety and effectiveness of their technology in the meantime.
Okay, so it's a gamble.
It is.
But a potentially lucrative one if Ives is right.
Yeah.
But let's not forget, Tesla's not the only player in the AI game.
Of course not.
We've got Google, Microsoft, and a bunch of other tech giants pouring billions into AI research and development.
For sure.
Can Tesla really compete with those behemoths?
Well, it's a crowded field, that's for sure.
Yeah, it is.
But Tesla has a few key advantages.
Like what?
For one, they have a vast amount of real-world driving data collected from their fleet of vehicles.
Makes sense.
Which is incredibly valuable for training AI algorithms.
Right.
And don't forget their brand recognition.
Oh, yeah.
And loyal customer base.
Definitely.
People are excited about Tesla's products and technology. And that kind of enthusiasm can give them an edge in the market.
Absolutely.
But let's get back to those humanoid robots for a second.
Ah, yes, Optimus. While the Motley Fool article focuses primarily on self-driving, the development of Optimus is a testament to Tesla's broader AI ambitions. They're not just looking to automate cars. They're looking to automate, well, potentially a lot of things.
That's a pretty radical concept.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, robots capable of doing all sorts of tasks. It's both fascinating and a little unnerving, isn't it?
It certainly raises a lot of questions about the future of work.
Right.
And the role of AI in society.
For sure.
And it's precisely this kind of disruption that has some investors betting big on Tesla's future.
I could see that.
They believe Tesla is at the forefront of a technological revolution that could fundamentally change the way we live and work.
So even with the recent stock dip and the concerns about Musk's divided attention, there are still plenty of reasons to be optimistic about Tesla's long-term prospects.
There are.
Especially when it comes to their AI ventures.
That's right.
It's all about weighing the risks and rewards.
Makes sense.
On one hand, you have the immediate challenges facing Tesla, like declining EV sales and potential tariff trouble.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, you have the enormous potential of their AI projects, which could revolutionize multiple industries.
This is where it gets really interesting. The Motley Fool article focuses on self-driving and Optimus. But what about AI playing a role in the design and manufacturing of future Tesla vehicles?
Now, there's a thought-provoking concept.
Right.
Imagine AI algorithms optimizing every aspect of the car design process.
Okay.
From aerodynamics to aesthetics.
Yeah.
It could lead to even more innovative and efficient vehicles.
But wouldn't that put human designers and engineers out of work?
That's a valid concern.
It is.
The rise of AI in any industry is bound to have an impact on the workforce.
For sure.
However, it's not necessarily a simple case of robots replacing humans.
Right.
It's more likely to lead to a shift in the types of jobs that are in demand.
So we might see a decrease in traditional design roles, but an increase in jobs that require an understanding of both AI and automotive engineering.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's a matter of adapting to the changing landscape and embracing the new opportunities that arise with technological advancements.
Right.
And that brings us back to Tesla.
Okay.
Could their AI ventures be the key to their long-term success, even overshadowing their EV business?
It's a question worth considering.
It is.
They've already established themselves as a leader in the EV market.
Yeah.
And if they can replicate that success in the realm of AI, the possibilities are truly immense.
Okay, so we've covered Tesla's recent performance.
Okay.
The potential impact of deregulation on their self-driving project, and the broader implications of their AI ventures.
Right.
Including those fascinating Optimus robots.
Yeah.
But what about the nitty-gritty details of these projects?
Okay.
What do we actually know about how Tesla is approaching AI development?
Well, Tesla's AI strategy is heavily reliant on neural networks.
Neural networks, those sound pretty high-tech.
They are.
Can you break that down for us a little?
Sure.
What are they, and how do they work?
Think of it this way. A neural network is like a giant web of interconnected nodes, each representing a tiny piece of information.
Okay.
As the network is fed data, these connections strengthen or weaken, allowing the system to learn and make predictions. In Tesla's case, they're feeding these networks massive amounts of driving data collected from their vehicle.
So the more data they collect, the smarter their AI systems become.
Right.
It's like a self-learning cycle.
Exactly.
But how does that translate into things like self-driving cars or those Optimus robots?
That's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
By training these neural networks on real-world data, Tesla is teaching them to recognize patterns, make decisions, and even anticipate future events.
Okay.
This is the foundation of their self-driving technology, the ability for a car to perceive its surroundings and navigate safely without human intervention.
Okay, I already get the picture.
Good.
But what about Optimus?
Yeah.
How does this neural network magic apply to humanoid robots?
The principles are similar.
Okay.
Tesla is training these robots to perform tasks by exposing them to a variety of scenarios and allowing them to learn through trial and error.
Interesting.
It's all about building systems that can adapt and learn from experience.
Right.
Just like humans do.
So Tesla's basically building robots that can learn and think for themselves.
Essentially, yes.
That's both exciting and a little scary, isn't it?
It certainly has the potential to be transformative.
Right.
Imagine a world where robots can handle dangerous, repetitive, or mundane tasks.
Yeah.
Freeing up humans to focus on more creative and fulfilling endeavors.
Yeah, I like that.
But it also raises important questions about the ethical implications of such technology.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We need to be mindful of the potential risks and challenges that come with any major technological advancement.
For sure.
But let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Okay.
We've got a lot more to unpack when it comes to Tesla's AI ventures.
We do. Welcome back. Before the break, we were discussing the potential for AI to revolutionize car design and manufacturing. It's a fascinating concept with far-reaching implications.
Yeah, it really is. I'm particularly curious about how this could impact the workforce. We touched on the idea of job displacement earlier, but could there be a silver lining? Could AI actually create new opportunities in the automotive industry?
Absolutely. While some traditional roles might become automated, AI is likely to create new roles that require a blend of technical expertise and creative thinking. We might see a surge in demand for specialists who can bridge the gap between AI and automotive design, folks who can interpret the data, fine-tune the algorithms, and ensure the final product aligns with human needs and aesthetics.
So instead of fearing robots taking over, we should be thinking about how we can work alongside AI to create even better, more innovative vehicles.
Precisely. It's about embracing the potential of this technology to enhance human capabilities, not replace them entirely. And this shift in thinking applies not just to the automotive industry, but to countless other sectors as well.
It's a whole new world we're stepping into. But let's bring it back to Tesla. The Motley Fool article mentioned that they're planning to launch their unsupervised full self-driving FSD software in Austin this June. What exactly is unsupervised FSD, and what does it mean for the future of self-driving cars?
Unsupervised FSD is a significant step towards Tesla's ultimate goal of achieving fully autonomous driving. Currently, their FSD system requires a human driver to be present and ready to take control if necessary. Unsupervised FSD aims to eliminate that need, allowing the car to navigate complex environments and make decisions entirely on its own.
So no more human in the loop. That's a pretty big deal, isn't it? But how can they be sure it's safe? I mean, we're talking about cars driving themselves without any human oversight.
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Tesla's approach relies heavily on the vast amounts of data they've collected from their existing fleet of vehicles. They're using this data to train their AI systems to recognize patterns, predict potential hazards, and make safe driving decisions in a wide range of scenarios.
It sounds like a massive undertaking. But even if they can pull it off, are regulators going to be comfortable with cars driving around unsupervised? I imagine there will be a lot of legal and ethical hurdles to overcome.
You're absolutely right. Unsupervised FSD raises a host of complex legal and ethical questions. Who's responsible if an accident occurs? How do we ensure these systems are truly safe and reliable? These are questions that society as a whole will need to grapple with as self-driving technology advances.
It's a lot to consider, but I guess that's part of what makes this whole AI thing so fascinating. It's not just about the technology itself, it's about how we adapt to it, how we use it responsibly, and how it shapes the future of our world.
You've hit the nail on the head. The development of AI is as much a society challenge as it is a technological one. And that brings us back to Tesla's Optimus project. We've talked about their vision for these humanoid robots, but what are the practical implications? How could Optimus actually be used in the real world?
Good question. It's easy to get caught up in the sci-fi aspect of it all, but what are some concrete examples of how these robots could be deployed?
Well, Musk has talked about Optimus being used for a wide range of tasks, from manufacturing and logistics to household chores and even personal care. Imagine robots assisting in factories, warehouses, or even construction sites, performing tasks that are dangerous, repetitive, or physically demanding for humans.
So they could help us build things, transport goods, and maybe even take care of elderly or disabled individuals. It's pretty remarkable. But it also raises concerns about job displacement. If robots are doing all these jobs, what happens to the people who used to do them?
It's a valid concern and one that we need to address proactively. The transition to a more automated workforce will require careful planning and investment in retraining programs to help people adapt to the new landscape. We need to assure that everyone benefits from these advancements, not just a select few.
I hear you. It's not about replacing humans with robots, but finding ways for them to work together effectively. But let's get back to Optimus for a second. We've talked about the potential benefits, but are there any downsides? What are some of the potential risks or challenges associated with developing humanoid robots?
There are certainly challenges to consider. One is the technical complexity of building robots that can interact with the real world safely and effectively. Humanoid robots need to be able to navigate complex environments, manipulate objects with dexterity, and respond to unexpected situations.
It's a tall order. And let's not forget about the safety aspect. If these robots are going to be working alongside humans, We need to make sure they're not going to accidentally harm anyone.
Exactly. Ensuring the safety and reliability of these systems is paramount. We need to develop robust safety protocols and testing procedures to minimize the risk of accidents or malfunctions.
And I imagine there are ethical considerations as well. What happens if these robots become too intelligent, too independent? Do we need to think about things like robot rights or the potential for them to turn against us?
Those are questions that are straight out of science fiction, but they're becoming increasingly relevant as AI technology advances. It's crucial that we have open and honest conversations about the ethical implications of developing intelligent machines, and that we establish guidelines and regulations to ensure that these technologies are used responsibly.
It's a lot to wrap our heads around. But this wouldn't be a deep dive if we didn't explore all sides of the story.
Precisely. And that's what makes this discussion so valuable. We're not just presenting facts, we're encouraging critical thinking and thoughtful engagement with the complex issues surrounding AI.
So back to Tesla. Their AI ventures are clearly ambitious. But are they realistic? Do they have the resources, the expertise, and the vision to pull this off?
Well, they've already demonstrated their ability to disrupt the automotive industry with their electric vehicles. They've built a reputation for innovation and a loyal customer base that's eager to embrace new technologies. And they have a leader in Elon Musk who's known for pushing boundaries and setting audacious goals.
He's definitely not afraid to think big. But even with all that, this AI stuff seems like a whole different ballgame. It's not just about building cars anymore. It's about building brains. Essentially, can Tesla really compete with the likes of Google and Microsoft, who have been investing in AI for years?
It's a valid question. Tesla's facing stiff competition in the AI arena. But they have a few key advantages that could give them an edge. Firstly, they have access to a treasure trove of real-world driving data thanks to their fleet of vehicles already on the road. This data is essential for training AI systems to operate in real-world conditions.
That makes sense. Experience is a great teacher, even for AI. But data alone isn't enough, is it?
Of course not. You also need top-notch talent, and Tesla has been attracting some of the brightest minds in the AI field. They've built a reputation for being a company that's pushing the boundaries of innovation, and that's a powerful draw for ambitious engineers and researchers.
So they have the data, they have the talent, and they have the ambition. But what about the execution? Can they actually deliver on their promises?
That's the key question, isn't it? Only time will tell if Tesla can truly live up to the hype surrounding their AI ventures. But one thing's for sure, they're shaking things up and pushing the entire industry forward.
This has been incredibly insightful. But before we get too carried away with the potential of Optimus and self-driving cars, let's take a step back and consider the broader context. We've talked about the potential benefits of AI, but what about the potential risks? Are there any downsides to this technology that we need to be aware of?
We've touched on a few already: job displacement, safety concerns, ethical dilemmas, but there are other potential risks to consider. One is the possibility of AI being used for malicious purposes, such as developing autonomous weapons systems or creating sophisticated tools for surveillance and control.
That's a sobering thought. It's important to remember that any technology can be used for good or for evil. It all depends on the intentions of the people who control it.
Exactly. We need to be mindful of the potential downsides of AI and work to mitigate those risks. That means having open and honest conversations about the ethical implications of this technology, developing robust safety protocols, and establishing clear guidelines for its development and deployment.
It's a lot of responsibility, but it's essential that we take it seriously. The future of AI is ultimately in our hands. But let's not end on a pessimistic note. We've talked a lot about the potential risks of AI, but let's not forget about the incredible opportunities it presents.
You're right. AI has the potential to revolutionize countless aspects of our lives, from healthcare and education to transportation and entertainment. It can help us solve some of the world's most pressing problems, from climate change to poverty and disease.
It's a powerful tool, and it's up to us to use it wisely. But we've covered a lot of ground in this part of our deep dive. Should we move on to the final part where we wrap it all up?
Let's do that. We'll revisit the key takeaways, explore some potential investment implication, and leave our listener with some final thoughts to ponder. Join us for the conclusion of our Tesla AI deep dive.
Okay, so we've gone through this whole world of Tesla and AI, self-driving cars, Optimus, the humanoid robot.
Right.
It seems like they've got some pretty bold ideas, right?
It's been quite a journey.
It has.
We've talked about their autonomous driving project being worth $1 trillion, and what AI could mean for work and for everybody, really.
Exactly. And then we even took a deep dive into how it all works.
Right.
Like, how those neural networks are driving these advancements and how Tesla is using all that data to train these AI systems.
All those self-driving cars out there collecting data.
Exactly. And then, of course, we had to talk about all those regulations, all those ethical questions that come with a technology this big.
Right. It's not just about building something cool. It's about how it affects everybody and whether it's even the right thing to do.
Right. Exactly. But let's bring it back to the listener for a second.
Okay.
You wanted us to look into Tesla's future. And especially all this AI stuff.
Yeah.
So after all this, where do we land? What do we think?
Well, that Motley Fool article we started with, they're saying this could be a great time to buy.
Really?
Especially if you're thinking long-term.
Okay.
They're saying this stock dip is just a small setback, nothing fundamental wrong with the company.
So, like, ignore the small stuff, right?
Right. Focus on the big picture.
And that big picture, according to Dan Ives at least, is that all this AI stuff, especially the self-driving, will make them $1 trillion company.
Ives thinks that deregulation...
Less rules, right?
Yeah, fewer rules will help people adopt self-driving cars more quickly.
Okay.
And that'll give Tesla a huge advantage.
Right, because they're already ahead of the game.
Right. He sees the future where Tesla's AI cars are everywhere.
Wow.
Changing everything about transportation.
It's a pretty amazing picture he's painting.
It is.
But not everyone agrees, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, who knows what the government's going to do.
Right.
They could change their minds about deregulation. And even if they don't, self-driving is really hard to get, right?
Yeah.
No guarantee Tesla will be the first.
And what about all the other companies?
Right, the competition.
Google, Microsoft.
They've got a lot of money and resources to pour into AI.
So can Tesla really keep up?
Well, it's definitely something to think about.
It is.
But look at what they did with electric cars.
Yeah.
Nobody thought they could do it.
But they did.
They're not afraid of a challenge.
They're not?
And they like to push boundaries.
That's for sure. But even if they do succeed with all this, what does it mean for you and me?
Well, imagine self-driving cars taking you everywhere.
Okay.
So you have more free time to work or relax, whatever you want.
Right.
And maybe robots like Optimus helping you around the house.
Like Rosie's from the Jetsons.
Exactly. Or helping take care of older people.
Okay.
Or doing jobs that are dangerous.
So it could make life easier and safer. Sounds pretty good to me, but also kind of like a movie.
I know. It's hard to believe.
It is.
But it might be closer than we think.
You're right. And it's not just about convenience either.
No.
AI could help us solve some really big problems.
Like climate change.
Right.
Maybe even poverty or disease.
Wow.
It really could change the world.
Yeah. So what's the big takeaway here?
Tesla's goals with AI are huge.
They are.
But they're possible.
Okay.
They've got the technology, they've got the people, and they've shown they can do amazing things.
They have.
Whether you invest in Tesla or not,
right.
This whole AI thing they're doing is definitely something to keep an eye on.
Okay, so it's a story that's still going full of surprises, good and bad.
Yeah.
We don't know for sure what'll happen.
No.
But one thing's for sure. This AI stuff could change everything.
Yeah, it could.
So as you follow along with Tesla, remember, this AI isn't just about technology.
What is it about?
It's about people.
Okay.
And how we use this powerful technology to make a better future for everyone.
That's a good point.
Thanks for listening to our deep dive.
Thanks for having me.
We'll be back soon with something else interesting to talk about.
Looking forward to it.
Until then, keep asking those questions, keep learning, and keep diving deep.